Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Long-term outlook. We'll start with the fact that we're far away from both of these points, but if given the opportunity to buy, sorry about that. The one it's on the weekly chart. It's 118.36 to 121.70, but on the daily, it's 116.63 to 119.97. And we like to use the dailies because it's just more fine-tuned on a day-to-day basis. This area may well be in reach over the next few weeks, FYI. Now, if we closed Friday, the week itself, below 137.15, that is a secondary sign of weakness. We have a primary already, and that actually did occur, a couple of days ago when we closed below the 139.58 channel bottom. That did occur on Monday of this week. Tuesday saw no real follow-through, but we did rally back to 139.58, which held. And so really what we're looking for over the next, 3 to 5 weeks or sooner is that 118.36 to 120.77 area. On the way down, I do have 129.13. Let me actually just jump to that. 129.13 is a 3 to 5 day target. And on the way down, possibly today, 134.34 in reach, where we could bottom out on an intraday, potentially daily basis with presently reduced volatility. We could bounce off of 134.34 back to 139.58 by tomorrow. Friday's close. We're off Thursday, of course. So this is kind of our 1 to 2 day structure here, but we are anticipating 129.13 by the end of next week or sooner, and the upper 110s, low 120s over the next 3 to 5 weeks. If we happen to, there is a scenario, if we get a spike in volatility, break, or perhaps open below 134.34, we could, within the day, actually reach this targeted 129.13, nothing more than a 3/8 downside Fibonacci from the November high against that August low. We can certainly place a daily low here and even possibly bottom out into later next week, because you can see it's correlated with an old area anyway. But if you're a 3 to 5 week swing trader, I see nothing to do here but be short this market in the upper 130s. 137.15 is kind of the other shoe to drop if that were to occur on Friday. 137.15 is the low of the high that was put out last week, and so that in itself also would suggest the 118.36 to 121.70 region over the next 3 to 5 weeks. Getting back to this chart, 129.13 able to contain selling on a daily, potentially weekly basis, and if settled below, should then yield our objective at 118.36 to 120.77 within another week, 2 at the very most. Now for the upside, if we were to close back above 139.58, that does reject the sell signal on an intra-week basis. And in fact, I see no good reason to stay short NVIDIA if we settle today above 139.58. Until then, you want to be short NVIDIA, or at the very least out of this stock if your time horizon is anywhere from 3 to 5 days down to 129.13. or 118.36 over the next 3 to 5 weeks. In fact, 3 to 5 day swing traders can sell the upper 130s, anticipating the upper 120s. 3 to 5 week swing traders can sell the upper 130s in anticipation of the upper 110s. Even consider reaching perhaps for 120, 125 strike out of the money puts that don't expire for at least a couple, 2-3 months, something in that respect. Now, if we close above 139.58, I see the beginning, perhaps, an early sign of a sell signal rejection. And also know that if we settle the week Friday back above 137.15, that fends off, if you will, that secondary sell signal that would occur if we were to close below it. In other words, if we happen to close back above 139.58, I see a stable market. And in fact, you want to exit a short position. Can you go long on that? Yes, you can. I think you've got a 3 to 5 day rally then up to 148.88, or by the end of next week. That is the high settlement price. But if we do close back above 139.58, I will begin speaking of this weekly chart long-term resistance, 166.66 to 172.94, as a realistic 3 to 5 week objective if we were to close back above 139.58. I think that would be in reach. And that is, really, I'm kind of pointing with the arrow up here. It's up in this zone. So by the end of the year, we could make our way into this mid 160s, low 170s within 3 to 5 weeks of closing back above 139.58. So if we close back above 139.58, I will just say that is an opportunity to go long. If you're short, of course, you want to exit. I know it's a bit of a flip-flop, but it is the way it is. When you've got the rejection of a pretty classic sell signal that did occur on Monday below 139.58, when the market rejects that, it's basically telling us it has no interest. There's no impulse for this market to continue south into the 120s on a technical basis, on its own basis. Now, of course, something could happen in the world and the market will fall apart and fall back into the 110s. Perhaps, but if we close above 139.58, that is a technical sign of strength, and I would expect kind of the mid 160s, lower 170s by the end of December, perhaps, where we could actually top out through the entire first quarter. On Tuesday, wickedstocks.com put out a stock pick on AstraZeneca. You might want to check that out. You can see it for free by taking advantage of our free trial. I also want to show you, and I did this, I think, yesterday. I want to show you, the triple Q, a long-term chart, NASDAQ 100 essentially. Just keep in mind that it is having trouble. It is testing long-term resistance. It hasn't fallen away yet, as it did in July down to the August low. But as long as we're below 512.02, there is nothing to be but either out of the triple Q or short the triple Q if your time frame is between now and through the first quarter. This is a long-term play. Of course, if we were to close above 512.02 by a 1% margin on Friday at the end of the week, and that could happen too, if that were to occur, 517.14 settlement or higher on Friday, just the opposite. We enter a long-term buy signal. And I would then anticipate under that scenario that NVIDIA's sell signal that occurred on Monday of this week to be short-lived. In other words, likely to be rejected within a matter of days. And then the NVIDIA itself anticipating what is now in the mid-160s, the low 170s, and climbing as we move through the rest of the year. I think that pretty much sums it up. I'm going to ask you to please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. I will be back tomorrow. That is, I will be, I'm always a day ahead of these things. On Wednesday afternoon, you will receive Friday's NVIDIA report. Thursday, of course, is Thanksgiving. And by the way, may you have a very happy Thanksgiving. I'll be back soon with Friday's NVIDIA report. Take care.